Hey, everybody, it's Tony George from DocSports.com. That guy right there, Griffin Murphy, coming in on IR today. Injured reserve. He got a little bit of a cough and a head cold. That's what you get for going to dive bars in Chicago and making out with ugly chicks. But nonetheless, you're going to pick something up, bro. I've been trying to tell you, I'm trying to be your mentor, just so you know.
I hear you.
There you go. Nonetheless, it is a Gridiron six-pack, 3 college, 3 pro plays, 25 minutes or less, and a rare losing week last week on the show. First one of the year. It happens. It was a crazy week last week. 7 NFL games, Griff, decided in the last 3 minutes of the game last week. A little bit crazy. Some shocking results in college football last week as well. And one of those games we want to talk about are the Hoosiers of Indiana, who hung 63 points on the number 11 team in the nation in Illinois. A lot of guys I know thought Indiana shouldn't be hanging a number like that against Illinois. Boy, were they wrong. I stayed away from it. I was surprised at that score. And, of course, Iowa catching 7.5 in Iowa City, right next to Children's Mercy Hospital there, and total 48.5. And I have to tell you, Indiana kind of picking up where they left off last year, Griff, and you thought maybe that was a one-hit wonder. That coach does not screw around. He loves to drop the hammer, and Mendoza, quarterback for them, he's for real. Matter of fact, I looked at the Heisman Trophy odds this morning, and he's moved all the way up to number 1. So, interesting game here. Indiana faces, well, I thought Illinois had a decent defense. They face, as we always say, there's 3 things in life that are for sure: death, taxes, and Iowa's got a good defense.
Yeah.
So how do you see this one, buddy?
It's an interesting one for me, definitely, Tony. I mean, Indiana coming off of that roaring win over Illinois 63-10, which was absolutely sensational. Then you have an Iowa team who, again, I talk about this team pretty frequently, I will say, and it's again with the offense. I am not sold on this team's offense just quite yet. They score a lot of points against bad teams. I think right now they're averaging about 30 points a game, but they haven't been battle tested. They have 1 loss on the season. That came against Iowa State in an in-state rivalry matchup. Mark Gronkowski at that quarterback spot, he is always limited on pass attempts. And once again, in his most recent matchup, I think he only had 18 passes. This team, again, we are going to run the ball and drive it down your throat, control tempo. And that is how Iowa covers and wins games. But in a situation like this, Indiana, this game kind of reminds me of last year. Do you remember when they played, who was it? Indiana was laying 14.5 or catching 14.5 points. I want to say it was against Oregon or Michigan. I bid on that trap. I took the points. They ended up getting barreled by like 40 points. This is a similar situation for me, only now Indiana's laying the 7.5 points. I believe they go into Iowa and take it to the Hawkeyes in this matchup. I love the way Indiana's played all season long. They've yet to let us down. Give me Indiana here, and I'm laying the 7.5 points, Tony. I believe they get this game done by a touchdown. But let's shift gears because this is probably one of the biggest games of the season. This one and the next one we're going to talk about. We've got Oregon rolling into Penn State. Penn State catching 3.5, total sitting at 52.5. Battle of the unbeatens. Oregon coming off an in-state rivalry win against Oregon State where they just powerhouse the shit out of them. Then Penn State coming on their first true test of the season. This is the biggest game to me, Tony. I'm interested to hear your take on this one.
Well, who's Oregon beat? They've ran the score up on Oregon State, who is absolutely horrific. They ran 63 points up on Okie State, who fired Mike Gundy yesterday, I might add, by the way. They're in total free fall. So they haven't played anybody. Subsequently, but those are Power 4 conference teams, and they waxed them. They did what they should have done. On the other side of the coin, I've got Penn State power ranked number 1 in the country. They're at home. It's a whiteout. If you've never been to Happy Valley for a football game, it is worth a full 3 points, if not more, for home field advantage here. I'm not joking. It's intimidating. Is Oregon used to the big stage? Yes. I'm not sold on Oregon, though, in this travel spot at Happy Valley. The number's 3.5, 52.5. This is the best offensive line and the best defensive line Oregon's seen all year. Maybe in the past 2 years. Now, Penn State has not covered a spread this year, I don't believe. But they haven't played anybody, and they kind of just been laying in the weeds like a possum hiding. As it's an old Midwestern saying. But you can't ignore the fact that Oregon has got a new quarterback and only 2 starters back on offense. And we're talking about a Penn State team that has 15 starters back overall, and Drew Aller, the best quarterback in the game, and they're at home, and they're laying 3.5. I'd buy this down, lay the 120 to 3, get on a fall number. It should be a good game, but I think Penn State flexes their muscle. Give me Penn State in this one to get it done. Folks, be sure and take advantage. Brief programming note. Number 1 is DocSports.com. Free $60. You see the link above us right there. You can get a free $60 in any new account. Comes with a profit guarantee and 0 hassles. And this weekend, why don't you get 10% off Griffin? We got a promo code for you. Right there it is. Winning 10. Winning, a little Charlie Sheen reference. Winning 10. We'll take 10% off a weekend package, a monthly package, or a season pass in football. That's good till noon Eastern on Saturday. There's a promo code box. Type it in there. You get 10% off. And if you've never been a member, that's $60. You can put that towards it. So like a month package, you could get 10% off plus an additional 60. You're here for free shit. There it is. There's free stuff. Come on. Let's get it done this weekend. Yes, my wife gave me a haircut. I said it before the show. I'll say it again. I guess I told her, make me look like Potsy from Happy Days.
Dude,
Yeah.
come on.
It's a ball cap type of weekend here. And what a weekend it is, by the way.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest games on the planet in college football. We're going to talk about one of them, including one we're not going to talk about, LSU and Ole Miss. That's going to tell us a lot about the Southeastern Conference, Griff.
Mm-hmm.
And another one that will tell us about the Southeastern Conference as well. And I just wanted to mention, it's Ryder Cup weekend. Go USA. Come on. Even though I bet Europe at plus 170 to win it, they got better golfers on their team. But nonetheless, what a weekend. Nothing's getting done around the house at my place. No honey-do list. Nothing. As fall sets in, the leaves need raked. Guess what? Hire it done. Because I want to watch me some Bama, Georgia. In the SEC, Georgia at home. Laying 3. That's probably going to go to 3.5. Total 52. Bama opened up the season in a shocking loss to Florida State. Who, by the way, they got a tough game this weekend or Friday night against Virginia. We're going to see how that pans out there. Big number there. But Bama on the road at Georgia, 3-52 is the number. And of course, Georgia has not covered a spread yet this year. Mm-hmm. They did win 44-41 at Tennessee, but anybody who bet them lost on the hook. And here we go. Bama, Gunnar Stockton looks good at quarterback for Georgia. Griff, how you see this one?
Tony, this is a very interesting matchup for me. I mean, Alabama rolling into Georgia is always one of those matchups that you just can't miss. And I have to say, though, Kalen DeBoer, I am not so sure that I'm sold on this guy. I was entering last season. Now that we've seen him for a couple years here with Bama, it's not the same Alabama team that we've seen with Nick Saban. That's for damn sure. This Bama team was ruthless, scary as all hell, and nobody wanted to play the Crimson Tide with Saban. Now watching this team last week, for example, against Wisconsin, I have to say I watched every single second of this game. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I watched every single second of this matchup, and despite Alabama absolutely blowing out Wisconsin in that game, Wisconsin was more physical than them all game long. Alabama just had more talent. They were faster than them, and they got the job done when they needed to, and they picked up on Wisconsin's mistakes in that matchup. I have not been impressed whatsoever with Alabama. I have watched 4 quarters of football, all four quarters of football with Alabama in one setting, and I've watched all 4 quarters of football with Georgia in one setting, and I have to say, this Georgia team looks good. Offensive line, very stacked up. Defensive interior gets to the quarterback with no issues. Very disciplined at the linebacker position. Secondary, outstanding. And then, as you mentioned, Gunnar Stockton at that quarterback spot. This kid is a leader. I said it in week 1, and I'm saying it now. Nobody really knows who this kid is, but they will, and they're starting to realize who this kid is. He can gunsling it. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's very well on his feet, as well as he's poised in the pocket. Kirby Smart, hell of a head coach, probably the best in the game. Both of these teams coming off bye weeks entering this matchup. Bama, they took last year's matchup in a 41-34 final. This is a bounce back spot for Georgia here. Give me Kirby Smart, Georgia, and I'm laying the 3 points in this one, Tony. So I
want to tell you something. I'm not sold on that coach at Bama. I'm not sold on it. I'm not sold on him. I think Kirby. This is a type of game that Kirby Smart likes to blow him out, especially with revenge. This here, I'm not going to lie to you. This might be on my premium card. This Georgia bet, I'm telling you, I think they get it done big time.
Tony, I looked at it, man, and I sent you that text message yesterday. Like, hey, I'm really looking at this play, but again, it spooked me a little bit at the same time, so I'm not necessarily there, and that is why it's not on my premium card as of right now. But let's shift gears really quick and get into the NFL. Interesting one here. We've got Carolina rolling into New England to play the Patriots. Patriots laying a number at 5.5, total sitting at 43. Carolina coming off a very surprising 30-0 win over Atlanta last week, but I have to take this out of this. They only had on offense 224 yards, which is absolutely ridiculous. Then you've got a Patriots team on back-to-back home games here under Mike Vrabel, coming off a loss last week, but next week they have to head to Buffalo, which is a huge spot for them. So right here, Tony, interesting spot here with New England at home, laying 5.5. Interested to hear your take on this one.
Carolina's played some good football the last 6 quarters.
Sure.
That was a shocking result last week. This falls under the category, don't put too much stock into what you saw last week. By the way, New England lost to Pittsburgh. They outgained the Steelers badly. Not only that, they gave the ball away 5 times and still only lost by 7. 5.5 is a bad number in the NFL. I don't care. Give me the Patriots in this one to get over on Carolina. I like Vrabel at home off a loss. They've got a big divisional game, as you mentioned, next week that they're going to lose.
Yeah,
they're going to lose that game against Buffalo. There's no doubt. Just by how much, we don't know. The total is 43 in this game. That's about right. But I'm going to lay the number with New England here. It's a bad number to lay, but Carolina, are they a one-hit wonder? Yes, they are. And I don't know what Atlanta was thinking with that team they have. I went 3-1 last Sunday, and I was glad to do it because a lot of people really got beat up. In the NFL on Sunday. I got beat up last Saturday. I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you about that in a minute. We don't pull any punches here. But I think this week it kind of comes back to who's the better team's going to win.
Sure.
And probably cover this week. It's week 4 now. We'll find out. Notice I didn't put the Chiefs game up on the menu today, just so you know. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about the Ravens and Chiefs. But nonetheless, I do want to talk about the Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Rams. Now, last week, the most unbelievable finish to the Eagles and Rams game, where the Rams had him by the short and Curly's going to kick a 30-yard field goal. Got the ball back, went down the field, and gets blocked, ran in for a touchdown. Unbelievable. You had a lot of games that happened like that last week. Welcome to Sports Betting 101. This happens every week. The bad beats, the crazy endings. And last week was a prime example. Even if you were, and what people don't talk about, Griff, is the first half lines too. If you're betting first halves, they kick the ball off with 57 seconds left with a team that can't move the ball, and they go right down the field with 57 seconds left, put 3 on the board, and either blow your total or blow the first half cover. It's never over till it's over. Sure. And Indianapolis was a recipient of that 2 weeks ago when they're playing at home against Denver. They got 3 seconds on the clock. They're trying to kick a 50-some-yard field goal. He misses it, but wait a minute. We've got a flag, and it's 15 yards against Denver. We get a re-kick with no time on the clock, and we win.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's just crazy. So, nonetheless, then you have to look and say Indy's probably the most impressive team in the NFL, Griff, but actually, who have they played?
Right.
That's what that comes up now. Tennessee, Miami. You needed a miracle penalty kick redo to beat the only quality team you played, which was Denver, and then you beat the dog piss out of Tennessee and Miami. Well, who wouldn't?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that Miami's laying a number this weekend perplexes me as well.
Yeah.
Against the Jets, but that's a whole nother story. But we'll land on that in the teaser section today. But nonetheless, 3.5, 49. It's going to be a litmus test here for the Colts on the road.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tony. I mean, looking at this Rams team right now, they should be unbeaten at 3-0. I mean, that was, as you mentioned, one of the most ridiculous endings to a football game that you're ever going to see, especially against the spread. Shout out Vernon Croy. I know he had his 8-unit game of the year on the Eagles last Sunday, so he ended up capitalizing on that one. Talk about a freak out. I mean, you got it. So that's absolutely sensational. They outplayed the Super Bowl champions 4 quarters of football. They won that game in, or play in, play out, the Rams did. And I have to say, Sean McVay, one of the best head coaches in all of football. I mean, cap off to him. Then you've got Matthew Stafford, who just absolutely leads offenses, leads teams. This guy is as big of a leader on a football team than anybody in the NFL, hands down. Plays hurt, does whatever he has to do. He's always poised in the pocket. He's got weapons all over the place. The run game with the Rams is very strong. This offense, man, always, I talk about it season in, season out. They are always lethal. Their defense is pretty solid as well. They do have some miscues. It comes in the secondary, but for Indy, same type of thing. Very interesting team, I will say, with this Colts team. Didn't know what to expect out of them this year. We knew Jonathan Taylor obviously was going to be strong in the backfield. Very strong offensive line, as well as Daniel Jones. There's no more question marks around my name with him. I think Daniel Jones is a hell of a quarterback. I believe he was with the wrong team for his entire career. Now that he's shifted gears, he's playing very good football now with the Indianapolis Colts. So I love the way they're playing. But there is one issue for me in this game for the Indianapolis Colts. That is on the defensive side. 1, they're injury prone. 2, they're young. 3, they do not have a lot of depth. Now you're playing a Rams team with Matthew Stafford and weapons across the board who just loves to air this thing out. And we have an offense now with this Indianapolis Colts team who's proven they can score a lot of points on anybody. Daniel Jones is a true leader at the quarterback spot, and Jonathan Taylor opens up that pass game for Daniel Jones on the run. So in this matchup, we've got a total sitting at 49 points. I love the over in this one. I think we're going to see a shootout here offensively out of both teams, and I think defense is going to be very limited and sluggish in this matchup. So, Tony, in this one, I am drilling the over 49 total points in this matchup. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game. But with all that being said, let's get to the Tony teaser of the week.
Hey, I wanted to say something. I said this on the Vegas Beat on Monday with Scott Spritzer, where we do a weekend recap, post-mortem, bitch and moan session, or celebrate, or somewhere in between based on how the weekend went.
Mm-hmm.
I think this Daniel Jones quarterback situation shines a light on Dabo and the Giants as just being a shitty coach.
Yeah.
Because the guy's talented. He can run it. He can throw it. It's not like he's surrounded by like the elite receivers in the NFL either. But this is what happens when you're well coached and also you have an offensive line. Because I'll tell you one thing, you're right, both teams are going to score. Because this offensive line for the Colts, top 3 in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into an argument saying, well, he's just got a great running back. That's why he looks good at quarterback. He had Shaquan Barkley in New York, dude.
Yeah.
That argument ends right there. He had the best running back in the NFL. Now he's got a really good one now, but he had that guy in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 coaches to go this year, the guy at Miami, and then Dabo in New York. And by the way, good luck with the rookie dart this week, because they already been, poor Russell Wilson, the scapegoat for the loss in KC now. Good luck. Good luck, Giant fan. Anyway, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you really quick, Tony, did you see the Chris Jones thing where he was going to swap jerseys with Russell Wilson at the end of the game and didn't want to swap anymore? I guess his entire career he's been trying to do that, and he never swapped with them. Now he said, I don't want to swap with them anymore. It means shit to me. Anyway.
Beautiful.
Anyways, let's roll into it. We got the Tony teaser of the week. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Tony.
we do. Yeah, we do. We're going to go with Green Bay and the New York Jets as our 2-team 6-point teaser this week. Green Bay's playing Dallas. Do I need to say anything more? Does that need an explanation? Was I shocked that Green Bay lost on the road to Cleveland last week? No. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But I wasn't shocked. Cleveland's got a hell of a defense. They probably got one of the better defenses in the NFL. So you're catching a really good team, potentially a division winner, definitely a playoff team, off a loss, playing a Dallas team that can't stop anything on defense. Nothing. Period.
Bears.
They're sitting at 7. You tease them down to -1. And the New York Jets. What are the Miami Dolphins do laying points to anybody? What are they doing? What are you doing? What? So we're talking about a value teaser. 3 key numbers. 3, 6, 7. Those are called fall numbers. We get off 3, we go through 6, we go through 7, we get 9. And the teams that really put a beat down on Miami, I know they've had a little extra time. They had to play Buffalo, Thursday, did all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they look competitive. They blew their wad. They're done. The one thing that you could do that keeps teams around on point spreads is if you can run the football, and you can run the football right at Miami. We got Bryce Hall. We got some other guys. Tyrod Taylor did not look bad at quarterback last week. I had the Jets, last week as a premium play. I had them as a contest pick in the Circa Millions. And I like the Jets +9 here to complete your teaser. Do not forget about our discount. Griffin I only. Winning 10 is the promo code. You go over to DocSports.com. You go to any football package Griff or I have, weekend package, monthly, whatever. Type in winning 10. You'll get a 10% discount. This weekend, I will have a 7-unit play in the NFL. I will have a bounce back week. I got my ass handed to me in college last week. I tell it like it is. It happens. It shouldn't have. I'm pissed, but I'm focused. 2 plays, possibly 3. 1 is 6-unit. It might even be a 7-unit. I might flip-flop. In the NFL, there's a game that's potentially a game of the year this weekend. Potentially. But it's definitely going to be a big top play in the NFL off a 3-in-1 week. Doubleheader on Monday Night Football. I'll have a rare Monday night card. So looking forward to that. Griff, what's on deck?
Yeah, for me, Tony, same situation. I got beat down last weekend. I went into last week 4-4 winning football weekends and undefeated in college football top place, 7-1. Went 1-2 on Saturday. It was the first time all season that I had bumped my selections from 2 plays a day to 3, and went the other way. I went 1-2. So I'm going to go back to fixing what was not broken, which was going 2 plays on Saturday, which I already have circled up, including a 7-unit best bet. So I have 2 plays on Saturday, and then rolling into Sunday, I've kept my volume pretty low in the NFL. It's been 2 plays a day, 2 6-units back to back, usually in the past 2 weeks. This week, I'm going to have 3 plays, potentially 4 if this total number falls on the number I'm looking for. And this will be included with the 6-unit best bet. I went 1-1 last Sunday. I dropped my 7-unit or 6-unit. I had the Raiders +3.5. It was just a bad call. It strictly was a bad call. I watched the whole game. They just got beat straight up. Then I had the Chicago Bears, which I told you I did not want anything to do with. Then come Thursday, that line shifted up in my favor, went the other way. So I said, you know what? This is the play. I have to do it. So I drilled them on a 3-unit play. So going into NFL Sunday, 3 to 4 potential plays, 6-unit best bet already circled up. Going back to college football Saturday, 2 plays on Saturday, including a 7-unit best bet, Tony. So we're locked and loaded, ready to roll.
The Gridiron 6-pack every Wednesday. Be sure and tune in. Get over to Doc Sports. Take advantage of that 10% discount. Winning 10. Follow us on Twitter at GMurphyWins, at TGeorgeSports. And get over to DocSports.com. That's where the best gather. Come on. Good luck this weekend.